Hello everyone. For today's video, I would like to respond to some questions I've been receiving about what is the I Am Presence. And as the main goal of Metatron's videos and information is for you to become your true self, I thought I would go into a little more detail about what exactly your true self is. There are many labels and interpretations and explanations given to what you are as a truly spiritual being having a human incarnation. And so I've gotten some images with explanations from different sources that I would like to share with you today. So we will start with the images behind me, and I will go into some detail about them. I am showing these two images side by side for purposes of comparison. These are from the basic teachings of the I Am Presence as brought forth from Saint Germain, but through different people and at different times. This one is from the Summit Lighthouse, and I do not have the source of this exact picture. But if you look them up online, you will also be able to see them in their true colors as they are presented by different people, and you can get a lot of more information there. But I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about these, and for my purposes, these images are quite adequate. The I Am Presence is usually referred to as this part of the image in both pictures. It is said to be the personalized I am that I am, and your I Am Presence, as indicated by the being in this picture, is said to be surrounded by 7 concentric spheres of spiritual energy that make up what in this system is called the causal body. They say that these spheres of pulsating energy contain the record of the good works you have performed since your first incarnation on earth. It is also called by some the electronic body. This is the immortal body of light substance that serves as a vehicle of expression for the God Presence. And this information is from the Temple of the Presence. And I don't agree with a lot of what they say, but I found their description of the I Am Presence to be a bit more complete than the one offered by the Summit Lighthouse. And so they say that this part of our being was individualized from the great I Am of all life, God the One, and that this likeness refers to our God nature, the essence of all that God is. Our real self, our individualized God Presence, has a unique and immortal identity that is different from every other God Presence, yet at the same time is one with the mighty I Am Presence in the heart of the great central sun. And I feel that this corresponds more closely with what Metatron has said about the I Am Presence. Now, if you look at this image, you will see that the I Am Presence is above and basically separate from the Christ self, which is shown here, and that is also separate and above the human incarnation, which is shown here. Whereas in this image, they still show the I Am Presence above and separate from the lower images, but here the Christ self is around the physical incarnation, but is also within it. So it is much more closely joined. Now, I could not find an image for what I feel is beginning to happen to us now, because all of these images come before 2012 and the start of this new age and this new era. And although I was made aware of the I Am Presence in 1978 and have been working with it since then, my experience of my own I Am Presence has changed dramatically since 2012. And that is when I first began to feel it coming within me, in the same way that the Christ self was integrating with my physical being. I felt that the I Am Presence was also doing the same thing. But I have no images to show, but if you could imagine all three parts of our being like this, with just the I Am Presence also being larger than, but at the same time within and interpenetrating the human physical form, I feel that that is what is happening to us now. So I will give a little bit more of an explanation of now the Christ self, which is shown both here and here, with explanations from both of these sources. The middle figure is called the Holy Christ Self, and it is also called the higher self or the higher mental body. It can be thought of as your chief guardian angel or your inner teacher. It is also called the Christ or the Buddha. But that is just according to this system. And please remember that all systems are different. And I am not trying to present any one system as being the right one or the correct one. But I am just trying to give you information from different sources so that you can begin to connect with it on your own and experience it on your own, what it is for you. And that will be the right one. The current of the mind of God holds the thought, the vision, or the image of its perfected self. I like to call it the divine blueprint. And so this Holy Christ presence is projected from the electronic body of the I Am Presence. It can be called a step breakdown transformer. The energy vibration of the Holy Christ presence is slower than that of the electronic body, but both are as tangible in their own realms as the physical body is here on the physical plane. The Christ self is a body of blazing light, and it is wholly perfect, and will not accept or allow any imperfection into its nature. The Holy Christ presence is aware of the limitations and discord around the outer self, but will not accept it. Its intelligence can assist us in our return to oneness with our source or with our Father. And so the Christ self holds the perfect image of ourself until we are able to become it. This is why when you invite your Holy Christ self into your being, as we do in the alignment before each of the videos, you are aligning yourself with the divine blueprint of your own being. You are asking for its energies to come within you so that you can begin to feel and experience them. Something that they do not show on any of these charts as well is the body elemental. Using this chart, we could imagine the body elemental as being an even smaller version of the physical body, and it would be placed right here, and it would be the smallest and the most dense or lowest vibration of all of these, and yet all of these would have the body elemental contained within it. So it would be a part of all of them, just like the Russian dolls, where the largest doll, in this case it would be our I Am presence, has all of these other ones contained within it. So in our alignment, we are trying, or we are bringing into alignment all of these different aspects of ourself. Now I'm going to show you one last chart. This last chart is based on the work of Barbara Brennan and her book Hands of Light. I found this to be a wonderfully clear and precise book. She was a NASA scientist, a meteorologist, and so she had a very scientific approach when her inner vision began to open and develop, and she applied the same rigor of scientific testing to understanding the different light bodies that she was able to perceive. And even between her first book and her second book, she began to perceive more light bodies than she had originally been able to see. But this just gives you a basic explanation in a different system of our different bodies. So instead of having just 3 major divisions, here she has 8. But she divides them into 3 planes. The physical plane And in the physical plane, she says we have our physical body, our etheric body, our emotional body, and our mental body. Now, I think there are people that would argue this, but I'm not saying that this is right or wrong, but this is just a way we can perceive our different bodies so that we can work on them, purify them, and bring all of them into harmony and alignment with our divine self. And then in the astral plane, she has just the astral body. And then in the spiritual plane, she has the etheric template body, the celestial body, and the etheric template or body. So all of these correspond to different dimensions and realms in which we exist. So this etheric template body would be closest to the Christ body, the way we understand the Christ body to be a blueprint of our perfected self. The celestial body is also similar to what is called the diamond body of light in some other systems. And in this system, which I will also show you, this most outer body is called the celestial body. The next one is called the diamond body, which we will also be talking about at some point. The causal body, the mental body, the astral body, the etheric body, and the physical body. Now, I don't want to confuse you with too much energy, with too much information, but I just want to give you the idea that you are so much more than your physical body, and that in order for you to become your true self, you must consciously integrate all of these different aspects of yourself. And as you begin to breathe in the light consciously, this process will naturally unfold within you, regardless of which system you choose to follow. This process will take place absolutely perfectly if you give over the process to your I Am presence. Allow your I Am presence to direct this for you. Many of these people who developed these systems also developed different techniques that you can use. And you can develop these different bodies at different times and in different stages. But if you are developing them from your ego, then there can be errors made, there can be imbalances, as different parts of the body are developed perhaps out of order. So I just feel that it is safest if you give over the development to your God self, by whatever name you choose to call it, and trust that it will unfold naturally and perfectly within you as you open up your heart in love and your mind to receive all the love and light from God that you need in order to become your true self. So I hope I have responded to the questions of what your I Am presence is, of what your Christ self is, and especially what your true self is. Your true self is all of this, and it is waiting for you to become it. The divine blueprint of all that you are already exists. It is simply a matter of you allowing it to be expressed in your current physical body, in your current human consciousness, as it awakens and allows itself to be transformed by all that is. Thank you for listening.